got your wig, ho. Ha ha. You're mad. Miss Wikiana. Miss Wikiana.
Meredith, why did you expect an apology from Sean when you did leverage Brooks's sexuality so you wouldn't receive further scrutiny for the false allegations you made about Sean?
Well, that would be impossible because I didn't make the allegation.
What was your response to what went down tonight?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, for me, it's not a gay straight thing. It's an infidelity thing for me. You know, we love our gay community. You know, we've been embedded in it for 30 years now, just based on what we do for our business. But you know, it's just I'm here to support Angie, and I'll take the hits.
I don't know what. Well, okay. Here's how I feel. Monica has been pretending to be my friend and betrayed me the minute that she could.
I never put anything into the universe. I never repeated anything you said to me, Monica. I kept it to myself.
This is the problem, Andy.
Who brought it up on camera for the first time?
I did.
Can I just say something? You can't bring something out in front of the cameras, like the gay rumors and the thing, and then say, I didn't say it. I didn't say it because it's you saying it.
I said I didn't start it, but I absolutely said I repeated it.
But that's
I got it, but I'm just trying to say. I'm just trying to say at some point.
For proof.
You know what I mean?
You got the information out there.
I feel that the two of them are both lying, and there's some holes in the story. Monica said, "Oh, she said this," and last week she's backpedaling on the rumors. There's just a lot of holes in the story, and it's not adding up, and it just feels like someone wants to hurt me.
And do we need a vocab lesson here? Does anyone know the definition of leverage? Used to maximum advantage.
Sean was asked by a gay podcaster about it and said, don't you feel? And it appears that she is using her son as defense.
Can I
Sean didn't say it appears. I did listen to the whole podcast, unlike what you said.
Right. And do you think that, I guess, and then this kind of answers some questions, you don't think Meredith's defense of, well, I never said the rumor is clearly a valid defense in this situation?
I don't think it's a valid defense just because it's sort of a pattern for her to do such things. Like she'll always allude, and then, like I said, there's always somebody that's willing to run with that information. So no, I don't see anything valid about that.
What about, Meredith said in this, I think, second most recent episode prior, my son, and I'm not coming from Meredith or Brooks, but she says, my son is gay, I'm on the board of GLAAD, I would never out someone's sexuality. Like, that's kind of is that another like roundabout, not good defense? I mean, that's kind of, she's using that as a defense to say, why am I being blamed for this? I would never out someone's sexuality. Not that there is a sexuality to even out.
Well, here's the thing that I've got to say about that. I think, my opinion is that there were some strategic conversations behind the scenes, and I believe that after that episode aired, there was a whole bunch of backpedaling happening. And she's a smart woman, and I think she took the opportunity to leverage her son and things like that, knowing that this didn't land quite the way they wanted it to.
That's what this fight was about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used my son and his community as a defense for something I didn't do. Now, let me tell you something.
This seems like a huge waste of time. I'm sorry.
Okay, Andy, maybe you think it's a huge waste of time.
No, but I'm saying this interview, it sounds like that guy led him into a thing.
But you can't let this. Don't take the bait then, or just say I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
He gaslit me and denied saying it.
Well, I think Sean was asked a question by a podcaster, and the man who was actually in the LGBT community suggested in the podcast, which wasn't shared, that Meredith was using Brooks as a defense. And Sean did not bring this up. He responded to a question he was asked on a podcast and just said, basically, yeah, it did kind of feel like that.
You think she started this rumor?
While this stuff was happening, we were in the middle of it, and I didn't say anything bad about Brooks. I would never disrespect your kids. This was in a different context. The way I saw it, looking from the outside in, was that her and Monica had something to do with it.
who are you, I guess, the most angry at between, like Meredith says, that she's heard these rumors, but she says she didn't bring them out. Whitney says she heard these dark rumors, but she tells Monica. So she kind of takes it from Meredith to Monica, and then Monica actually utters it. Like, out of Meredith, Whitney, and Monica, who are you the angriest at or kind of blame for this having legs?
It's really difficult to really say. I mean, let's see, how should I put this? I think they're both responsible in their own way. And, Meredith, as you've seen from seasons past, she's always the one that'll plant the seed, and then she's always got somebody that'll run away with it. And that's similar to what happened here. And, I say shame on both of them.
And look, at the end of the day, I didn't know you well enough to take your word for it at the time. It's about friendship. And it's about, earning each other's trust and developing trust and honesty and that sort of thing. I didn't have that opportunity with you at all. I think that was really good. What's your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction to that is his wife was told at après-ski and again at Greek Easter that I didn't do this. So the podcast was 6-8 months after that. The only person who brought this up was Monica. And Monica flat out said the day she brought it up and then again at Greek Easter that I didn't do it.
Okay.
So I don't know why they keep believing that I did.
I mean, it was odd to me. Like, I didn't even get it because you're coming to me with this scroll of things that I'm not responsible for. I didn't do these things you keep accusing me of that you've been told I didn't do. Monica flat out told her even the day at the après-ski party, when the accusation came out, Monica did turn to her and say, she didn't tell me this. And then maybe Angie didn't hear that, they're fine, whatever, but then we see she did hear it at Greek Easter. And she continues to want to hold me accountable for things that I just didn't do. And yet she has done most of those things in some form to me.
But then Monica also said that it didn't come from you.
She changed the story. I looked at Monica and I said, Monica, why are you saying I said this? I didn't. And she goes, you did not. She didn't say it, Angie.
But she could have.
And we're going to play that.
This is why it's hard to trust him.
I mean, this is never going to end until you actually play it. I'm getting angry.
Okay.
We let this go.
In fact, I think I'm finished.
What about with Angie? Because obviously we saw you throw her out. Do you stand by that?
I do. I mean, look, watching it back, do I think that Brittany had a hand in it? Yeah, of course. Like, she was in the wrong as well. But the reality is what I knew at the time was Angie started it by saying Brittany was doing 3 guys. She has had a history of these kinds of commentary with me, with Lisa, Heather, Jen. I mean, on and on. So it was like not surprising when Brittany said it to me. And I mean, I probably should have thrown Brittany out with her. I don't know.
Maybe, honestly.
I don't know.
But the high body count hair of it all, that has now become such a term where I'm like, wait, do I have high body count hair?
No, you do not.
The thing, though, with Angie, you guys just filmed the reunion, like I said. Without giving too much away, were you able to at least say, like, your side of the story? And did you guys come to a resolution?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I said my side of the story. I feel like I had a chance to really speak for myself because a lot of times I feel like I don't get that opportunity. I'm definitely the calmer one of the group.
You do not
engage.
Part. You're like, I'm disengaging.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do feel like I got an opportunity to say what I needed to say. I hope it all airs. I mean, there's only a few hours to air.
Let's resolve this.
Unless I hear that and I'm being told it will play at the reunion, I am finished. I need a confirmation that that's going to play because she has known about it since the day it was said. She has an unwarranted mean girl vendetta against me and I don't know why.
Oh, I do.
Meredith, don't leave.
I think it goes a little bit back and forth.
No point to me saying. If you're going to spin me into a liar.
But I do think that I got to say everything. I think that we've come to, at least a place of mutual understanding. And that's positive. That's a starting point.
Thank you.
So her story changed.
surprise.
She said them both on camera.
She never said Meredith said it.
But
She
the
said
most
she said.
important thing is
We're telling her
no,
this.
she told her on camera, this is what Meredith's saying. But the most important thing is she's the one that brought it up. You didn't bring it up. I'm agreeing with you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm going to move forward.
That's a starting point, and that's why we love a reunion, as long as we can get to some sort of thing where there is a path forward, right?
Right.
So you think there's a path forward with you and Angie?
I mean, first of all, I always think there's a path.
Always,
forward.
right.
It's just a matter of what capacity.
Totally.
And to me, that always boils down to what, how accountable are you for your actions? Are you apologetic? What the situation is. And obviously, the more accountable someone is, the more apologetic someone is, the easier it is to move forward. I mean, I believe in second chances,
Full.
and if you're not accountable and not apologetic, we're still going to move forward. It's just going to be in a different capacity.
Fully.
'Cause
What?
the alternative is dying.
True.
I mean, we are moving forward.
We always are moving forward. Thoughts on her, though, having the center snowflake?
I mean, I think she was really happy and proud of that. And so I'm happy for her,
Okay.
Great.
Great. We're moving on then. Great.
Really been wanting to ask you your reaction to seeing Bronwyn share with the ladies in Mexico the story of your emotional affair.
Well, I had to apologize because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
We've
But
talked about it, and it's just
anything-
hard to watch. Yeah.
Anything that Bronwyn had shared would be more than I'd want her to share.
Odd feeling to always be defending myself against these accusations that I'm a gold digger and I don't love my husband, when sometimes the reality is that I love my husband so much that I deal with really difficult things in our situation.
I mean, I did not see that coming. I did not see Bronwyn kind of betraying her marriage and betraying Todd in that way, because all I had ever seen and heard from her were, she kind of perpetuates this love affair story.
So I think two things are happening here. One, so much of what's really special and wonderful between Todd and I, he wants to be private. So I knew that was never being filmed for the show.
Okay.
And then also, I wanted to just go on the show and be myself. I can be a little sarcastic. I just kind of put everything out there. I've learned that honesty is the best policy.
Okay.
Until you're on reality TV.
It was only emotional?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even say it's an emotional affair. There's a lot of people that Todd has different conversations with, and I felt like there was conversations that went further than I would have had with someone.
Bronwyn, when they were on the boat, come on, babe. You wept and said he had been disloyal.
I've been defending our marriage for so long that it almost comes across like I think it's perfect, and I'm very aware that it is not perfect. And I'd actually at this point prefer for negative things that are true to be said about me. So I feel like I just want to almost shock them into realizing that they have really no idea of exactly who I am. I also think I just felt so isolated that as much as I hate it when other people do it, I kind of emotionally vomited a little tiny bit.
I just thought, I'm glad I'm not married, because if my wife were on a yacht telling a bunch of friends that my daughter caught him having an affair on an iPad over his shoulder, the whole story as it unfolded, I just kept wanting to cover her mouth and be like, don't say this about your husband if you want to go home with him tonight.
He's going to see that. I would have told her, no.
Yeah.
Zip it.
For me, all these thoughts were going through my head, this is something big. I've never heard it before.
So you knew Bronwyn, but you didn't know this before.
No, I think a part of me was also I wouldn't share this with a group of girls I'm getting to know because they don't know Todd.
Yeah.
And you're subjecting him to judgment from a lot of people.
And
I
what
feel
you're
like
saying, don't say anything that you don't want to.
Don't say things you want to forget that everyone else will remember.
Yeah.
It was kind of the first time I really saw Bronwyn being vulnerable and real, and she cried.
When I said this to you on the boat, it was not happening in real time. What I was trying to explain to you is that I have an issue where I don't feel good enough. There's a significant amount of things in my life that have made me feel not good enough. Being a single parent, being ostracized from the church. And when I felt like everything I said in this group of women was misconstrued or misunderstood or looked at negatively, it does trigger this narrative that I'm not good enough. And that brings me back to a time when I didn't feel good enough with Todd.
A lot of it was a misunderstanding. We have different boundaries. Todd never did anything physical with anybody. It wasn't this big affair. It was really that I was uncomfortable with how much he was talking to somebody who was very flirty with him. But what I was trying to tell the ladies that night is that I'm insecure. I take things really personally. It's hard for me. And I use that as an example.
Okay.
I wish I hadn't.
This is where it's confusing because you held me very accountable for not being like Todd, and you guys, you had a conversation where you said maybe Lisa can relate to Todd because she's cheated. That's what was said.
I didn't say that.
And I watched all of it. I saw it with my own two eyes.
It was not a cute
You all
conversation.
co-signed it, and I would not say anything bad. In fact, I said, Todd's going to be upset when he watches this. And I hugged Bronwyn to let you know that I was here for you, but I'm not going to talk badly about your husband.
I absorbed it, and I was also cognizant of Todd in this moment too. Like, he has a new fund coming out. He has business associates.
Right.
He's on the board of things.
We know how that goes.
So for me, I'm like, they always say, like, you watch how a man treats his wife and you know how he'll be in business. Like, this could impact him in another way. And it's not something she's sharing with Todd. It's something she's sharing with, like, the world.
I just felt like total compassion and sympathy for her. But then to see her kind of posting about how Todd's the love of her life the next day, and then being critical of you and Lisa in the way that you responded to her confession.
Like Meredith said, well, maybe that's all Todd can do.
The pendulum swung back again. Like, I just feel suspicious of her.
If Lisa can just back up a little bit on doubling down on Bronwyn and just let, like, the world see Bronwyn for who Bronwyn is, I feel like her overshadowing, trying to prove that she's this and she's that, is a problem. But if Lisa could back up, I think they could probably let things clear up and people could see Bronwyn for who Bronwyn is, and people can see Lisa who Lisa is.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.